Welcome back to Making the Jump podcast, where we chat all things business, entrepreneurship and property. I'm Kafilat.
And I'm Rebecca, and we're here to journey with you as you make the jump into something you absolutely love.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Making the Jump podcast. I'm Kafilat.
And I'm Rebecca.
Welcome back to another episode. Thank you for tuning in. How are you doing, Rebecca?
I'm okay, thank you. It's been a busy week. Busy couple of weeks, actually. And it's freezing cold. How are you?
I'm a bit under the weather today, but we're here. Have to make another episode, so dedication.
Oh, bless you. We won't keep you too long, but I've got some good stuff to share with you.
No, I'm excited for today's episode because, do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about what today's episode is about?
So today's episode is about personality types, and the one we're going to focus on is the Myers-Briggs personality test. Have you heard of it before? Or when did you first hear about it?
You know what? Because I'm into like my K-dramas, K-pop, the just Korean aspect. A topic of conversation that they always like to bring up is their MBTIs. So that's a very, like, when they're having, like, in social settings, if you want to try and get to know the person, they always talk about their MBTIs. And I was like, oh, what is this?
I love that. An MBTI is a short way of saying Myers-Briggs personality test, basically. So I'm going to dive in and let you guys know, one, the benefits, and two, the different types. So there are 16 types of personality outcomes or types in this sort of personality test, but there are loads of different personality tests. And if you're interested in wanting to develop as a person, put some language to some of your weak spots and become a little bit more self-aware, then they're definitely worth doing. It's definitely a test worth taking. So it's online and it's free. You type in 16 personality types by Myers-Briggs. You'll get a website, and it probably takes about 15 minutes to answer quite a few questions. You answer them on a bit of a scale, and the scale goes from disagree or strongly disagree to neutral to agree to strongly agree. And it will ask you questions like, I'm very good in social settings, and then you can put strongly agree if that's true, or wherever you are on the scale. It will ask you other things. When such and such happens, do you feel like this? And then you can put agree or disagree. And basically, there's about 90 questions that crisscross you and ask you questions about all different aspects of your personality and how you respond to things. And then at the end of it, it gives you 4 letters. And that is your personality type according to this test. Now, it's key to note, those 4 letters can change over time.
I've seen that.
Yes. So my 4 letters were the opposite letters. And then life just threw me loads of different situations. And my whole personality adapted to my different circumstance. And I operated in quite a different way, which I thought was fascinating.
It is. It really is. It really is. Because I think now starting in property, some of the questions that I would have answered differently, I would have answered it differently to before when I started things like networking and going out to networking events. So that sort of changed, like, I guess, my personality, I guess. Like, I think one of the questions was like, do I find it easy going up to people to talk to people? My answer would have been no before. But now, due to networking, I feel like, they're just people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to dive in because I agree with you. Get more confident over time. Well, in my case, I have as well. And the more senior roles I've taken on in the world of work, the more you have to build that confidence and resilience. So, okay, let's dive in. I want to, first of all, explain what the different letters are. And then I want to guess live on this podcast. I'm going to ask you the questions. I'm not going to ask you 90. And I want to guess and see if I can guess it.
Yeah, this is exciting. I want to know what you think. Then I'll let you know what I actually am.
Okay, so the first of the 4 letters you can have is either a letter E or a letter I. So the letter E stands for extroverted. So where do
Yeah.
you get your energy from? Is that from being around lots of people? Do you feel recharged after social situations? Are you quite loud and bubbly? Or are you an introvert that needs to be by themselves, ideally, to recharge?
I feel like I'm like in the middle. I
Okay.
I'm in the middle because I'm the type of person that reacts to people's energies. So if someone's energy is low, my energy is going to be low. If they've got high energy, then I would have that same energy. And especially when I'm comfortable in a situation, I won't say I'm the loudest,
Yeah.
but I can be loud if need be, if needed
I,
to in social
I
settings.
love
So I'll
this.
say in
This
the
is good.
middle.
Love it. So okay, I'll give you a scenario. You're meant to go to this massive party. There's going to be like 100 people there. It's going to be loud
Mm,
and bubbly. Your friend calls you and says, "Oh, Kafilat, I'm so sorry.
mm,
The party's been cancelled."
yeah.
What is your gut reaction to that?
Um, it depends if I was gut reaction. I'll probably because I'm more of a homebody, so probably that's fine. I could just chill at home, bit of Netflix.
This is why we get on so well. Okay.
So I
I'm just going
wouldn't
to
be
make
like looking for the next like motive to go to. No, I'll be like, okay,
Okay.
just chill at
Okay.
home.
Very helpful. I'm going to make a little note.
Okay.
Okay, so the next letter in your 4-letter personality type, you can either have an
Mhm.
S or an
Mhm.
N. So
Okay.
S's are very interesting. That stands for sensory. You are
Yeah.
someone who likes facts, figures, things need to
Mhm.
be evidence based. You don't
Mhm.
really go with gut feelings, but you
Mhm.
can. So it's really
Yeah.
important to know that you can have more of a preference and a leaning towards one, but
Mhm.
you can also operate with the other side to this, the other side of the coin, if needs be.
Mhm.
And it's quite interesting now that I'm married and obviously I'm with someone a lot of the
Yeah.
time. Their decision making and my decision making and way of operating is very different. So I've
Yeah.
now learned to switch the other side of my way of being on to
Okay.
empathise with them a little bit more and see their side of you. But my natural
Yeah.
leaning is very, very different. I can chat more about that later. So
Okay.
sensory or intuitive. So they use the N there from the word intuitive.
Okay.
Um, okay, and so sensory is very much facts, figures, quite logical. And intuition, you're all about the bigger picture when you're making decisions. How does what I'm doing impact me? What's the bigger picture here? What is my
Mm.
gut saying? So you don't go, well, the spreadsheet says this. You like to think things through in quite a different and more
Mm.
intuitive way. Which of those
Yeah.
would you say you are when it comes to decision making?
Is it awkward if I say a little bit of both? But I would say more leaning towards the more logic side
Leaning
because
toward.
I guess doing accounting is like the facts are the facts, numbers don't lie. But that doesn't say that I don't think things through a little bit more deeper, but I feel like I use the aid of numbers to help make that decision.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. I've made a little note of what I think you are. Okay, so I'm building a picture of you here, which is
Yes.
really exciting. I think, oh, I think this is starting to make a lot of sense actually. I could probably guess the last, I could definitely guess the last letter, I think. Okay, I'll keep going.
Okay.
So your third letter of your 4-letter acronym is either a T, which stands for thinking, or an
Mm,
F, which stands for feeling.
mm,
So again, going back to decision making and the way you lean towards when you're faced with something, again,
mm,
thinking is quite it's all about evaluating things, being quite objective, quite down the line, and it links quite
mm.
closely. It's quite similar to I like facts and figures, the sort of S for sensory,
Yeah.
whereas feeling is all about how it impacts the people around you. And you
Mm-hmm.
tend to lead with a lot more emotion and compassion when you're making your decisions and you're operating in general. So
Yes.
we were in a situation recently where I was chatting to someone, and they were trying to make a decision about whether or not they should stay in a job. And to
Okay.
me, I was thinking, well, if you're not happy with the salary, the
Mhm.
numbers don't add up,
Yeah.
and the commute's too long, the evidence
Yeah.
is saying you shouldn't
Leave
be
the
in that
job.
job. And they were saying, yeah, I know all that, but the
Yeah.
impact it's going to have on my colleagues, the
Mm.
impact it's going to have on this child that I'm doing one-to-one support with, that
Mhm.
is going to be hard on them. And I
Yeah.
was thinking, but the figures don't match up.
Exactly.
The commute is not right. And I
Yeah.
realised, oh, this is someone who has that feeling part of their personality
Yes.
up
Yeah.
front and centre, because it's not that I'm
Mhm.
mean, but my way
Yeah.
of looking at information, you can probably guess what letters I am, is listen, we're not going by gut today. We're not worried
No.
about Tom, Dick and Harry today.
No. No.
We,
No. No.
we need to see what makes the most sense logically here.
100%. I agree.
Where do you lean between the thinking and the feeling?
I feel like I'm more objective.
Okay.
That I'm not an emotional decision maker. I make decisions based off of objectivity.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yes.
Good to know. Getting a better picture. And now the
Mhm.
last letter of your four-letter acronym
Mhm.
can either be a J, which stands
Mhm.
for judging, or
Mhm.
P, which stands
Mhm.
for perceiving.
Mhm.
Now, I never explained these two very well, but the root of them in my mind, and please go online and have a look and do a bit more reading if you're interested in personality types, is the way I see it is J's, which stands for judgment. I don't think it
Mm.
means you go around judging people, but I
Yeah.
think it means you're very organized.
Yeah.
Things are, your ducks are in a row,
Mhm.
and the P is you're a little bit more go with the flow. So J, I
Okay.
think, just rereading here, have quite strong convictions about things. But the P, yeah, I would say is a little bit more flexible, a little bit more go with the flow. So, for
Mm.
example, if you realise, no, so this is the question I used to ask people when I chat to them about
Okay.
this. If someone gave you an assignment and said you've got 6 weeks to do that assignment,
Mhm.
how would you go about approaching
Mm.
completing that assignment?
See, I'm a planner. I like to plan ahead. I don't like to wing stuff. So I would say I'm an organized person. I like to plan things ahead of time rather than just go with the flow. For me, go with the flow it's just too messy.
Yeah.
It's too messy.
Okay. Have you always been like that?
Um, I would say when it comes to doing like assignments and stuff for like school back in the day, I would say I was more of like a last minute person rather than, but I feel like does last minute equal like go with the flow? Because I don't feel like it does, but you just do things last minute.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
there's all sorts to do with time management and all sorts of internal
yeah,
factors
yeah,
to consider. But
yeah.
you know what,
But,
Kafilat?
mm,
Oh, wait, no, sorry, you go finish.
no, I was just gonna say that, yeah, even though I was last minute, I still like to plan my work, even though it was last minute.
Okay.
.com.
Okay. I think I know what
Mm,
your personality type is.
okay, okay. What do you think it is?
I might get it wrong. I might get it wrong.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. What do you think it
Okay.
is?
Drum roll.
Go on. Let's go.
Are you an ISTJ?
I sure am. I am.
That's my party trick. Working out people's Myers Briggs personality type test. That is
Yeah,
so cool. I'm really chuffed with that. I mean, out of 16, I think I'm really chuffed. I didn't ask
exactly.
you 90 questions either. So
I know. I know. You guessed correctly.
I've just got my laptop here.
Mm,
Tell me if these traits, because I've got the full analysis of your personality type here. So
okay.
Honest and direct.
I would say so, yeah.
I would say so, just from working with you and getting to know you.
Yes.
Strong-willed and dutiful.
I would say like 50-50, because I
Okay.
don't have to be, I'm not like stubborn. I do listen to other people's opinions, take on people's opinions and stuff. So I'll say like half and half on that one.
Okay, definitely. Very responsible.
Yes. Being like the firstborn, you have to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, me too. I get that 100%. You like to create and enforce order, and you're also a bit of a jack of all trades.
That is very true.
Oh, so it's quite
I,
accurate, isn't
it
it?
is. It is.
Um,
Yes. I would say so. Yeah.
each of the things I'm reading to you have their own paragraph underneath that really goes
Mm.
into quite a lot of depth, actually. So
Okay.
it's a fantastic test to do. And I
Mm.
found if you're quite a self-aware person, this can be a brilliant exercise to do before you apply for a job. And then
Mm.
all of the strengths that come up, you can then incorporate that into your covering letter and your
Yeah.
CV. Obviously, you want to make
Yeah.
yourself look good, so you probably ignore all the
Yeah.
boxes. But it's good
Mm.
for you as an employee to know what those languages are and to
Mhm.
know why. Not that you're being maybe difficult or you struggle with
Mhm.
particular areas just for no reason, but your
Mhm.
way of approaching things might be different to the rest of the people in your industry, for example.
True.
So
Yeah.
it's really good to get to know yourself better tool that you can use in the
Mm.
workplace. But also, if you're making the jump and you're becoming your own employer, I was listening to
Yeah.
Stephen Bartlett, who's the leads on the Diary of a CEO, and
Yeah.
he was saying it's really good for as entrepreneurs not to employ lots of people that are like yourself.
You need people to challenge you for sure.
Yeah, and you need people to bring different skills. So if you're highly
Mhm.
creative, you probably
Yeah.
don't want to hire 10 other creatives because you'll all
Yeah.
have that passion and drive for
Mhm.
creating, but you all
Mhm.
might want to pull in 10 different directions. You need
Yeah.
people on your power team, I think, that
Yeah.
complement you and that have a different
Yeah.
skill set, but still get
Yeah.
the core vision of what it is you're trying to
Yeah.
achieve.
I agree. I feel like one of the things that always stick out to me when I hear Stephen talk
Mm,
is when you're hiring people, hire people in stuff that you can't do, that you're like not an expert in.
yeah,
Hire the
absolutely.
best people in those fields, because they're the ones that are able to take your company to the next level. So I feel like that's always stuck out to me. Rather than just hiring people that you just like, you need to hire the best of the opposite of you.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's always stuck out.
Yeah, 100%. That's so good to hear. And he's done so well for himself, hasn't he, with
Oh
Diary?
yeah, so young as well.
Yeah, really. I love tuning into that as regularly as I can. Okay, so we're going to talk now. This particular website, 16personalities.com, it gives you
Mm.
an overview and then it gives you strengths and weaknesses. It
Mhm.
talks a little bit about what you might be like in romantic relationships,
Oh.
friendships,
Okay.
parenthood,
Oh.
career
Okay.
paths. That could be interesting. It also touches on what you might be like in the workplace, how you operate as a
Okay.
colleague. So you can get
Okay.
a whole wealth of data on your personality,
Yeah.
and you can use it to sort of tweak your current situation, which
Mhm.
sort of links a little bit to Alice Dartnell, who's been on Star Collective recently, and
Mhm.
she talks a lot about what are your time drainers and what are your time energy fillers.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
If you go through this, your personality type, you can probably see, oh, no wonder I get so drained by doing admin. My brain doesn't function that way. I need to
Yeah.
tweak this bit of my diary to do this or
Mhm.
to add
Mhm.
an energy filler straight after it. So
Yeah.
the reason I'm so passionate about personality typing, and there are loads of personality types
Mm.
out there, because I truly believe that when you know yourself better and you're aware of yourself and what you need to
Mhm.
thrive, you
Mhm.
can then make those changes to live a more fulfilling life. And
Oh. Yeah.
I feel you can get on better with people in your relationships, in your
Mhm.
workplace, da da
Mhm.
da. So
Yeah.
I think it's a very worthwhile thing to do. But Kafilat,
Mhm.
I'm not going to let you get away that easy.
Okay.
We're now going to talk about just some of your weaknesses. I'm not going to expose you
Okay.
to while, but we're just going to talk
No,
about
that's
something.
fine. It's all part of learning. It's all part of learning. So I'm happy to discuss that.
So it does, and this isn't. You don't have to take this as absolute truth, because some things
Yeah.
might apply to you, some things might not. It does
Okay.
say here you can be a little bit stubborn.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe
It
it's
says
possible. It's possible.
stubborn. The facts are the facts, and logicians,
That
people
is
like
me.
you that are logical, tend to
Yeah.
resist any new idea that isn't supported by them.
See, I don't
This,
feel like that's me.
well,
I
then
I
this,
like to welcome people's ideas.
well, do you know what my theory on that is then? You've developed that bit of your personality in a really healthy
Oh,
way.
okay.
You might have had experiences in your life where you've realized,
Mm,
actually, I need to buff this out. Even if you've not
yeah.
thought about it
Yeah.
consciously, you might have been
Mm,
in
mm.
life situations where you've had to. And it says, this factual decision making process also makes it difficult for people with this personality type to accept that they are wrong about something, but anyone can miss a detail, even them.
Interesting.
It
Interesting.
also says you like to always be by the book. Would you say that's true?
No. Absolutely not. I like to stay away from the book. No, no, that is completely false in my personality anyway.
Well, there you go. Maybe you're like a bit of an offshoot of this personality. You've evolved
Honestly.
different. But this one might resonate with you. It says you often unreasonably blame yourself.
I think possibly, yeah.
It says
Yeah, I just
as they load themselves with extra work and responsibilities, turning away good intentions and helpful ideas, logicians. Sorry, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that word
that's
wrong.
all right.
I don't say it on a regular basis, so I've got no. People with this personality type sooner or later hit a tipping point where they simply can't deliver. They've heaped the responsibility on themselves. Since they've heaped the responsibility on themselves, they then believe the responsibility for failure is theirs alone.
I think there's an aspect of that, yeah. So some of that resonates, I think.
Yeah.
I
So
feel like
it's,
being responsible, you do tend to just take on the blame. That it's your fault.
yeah, absolutely. I can relate to that 100%.
Mm.
So we might have some similar letters. In fact, I think we do.
I feel like we do. I'm not
Well,
sure about the introvert or extra. I feel like you're more leaning towards the extroverted side.
well, you only see me when we're recording a podcast. You do not see me throughout the rest of the days, okay? So going back to that question, and I'm going to get my personality type up. Going back to that question of your friend cancels, how do
Yeah,
you feel? Cancels the party.
yeah.
I jump up and down with delight. I jump up and down
Okay.
with delight. However, my personality type says that I'm an E for extroverted, but I love the days when I'm by myself. So I
Yeah.
think the word for this is ambivert.
Oh, okay.
And I think that refers to a person who has a balance of extrovert and
Mm,
introvert features in their personality.
yeah.
So I'm more than happy at a party to chat to people. I love to
Yeah,
hear
I'm the
about people's
same.
lives,
Yeah,
da
yeah.
da da. But if, someone says, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I can't come round," I just get
I'm
myself.
like, that's absolutely fine.
Oh, I get myself a hot cocoa with whipped cream. I put my fluffy socks on, and I'm happy to be in my own company. So yeah. So
I
any of my
think,
friends that cancel, trust me, I don't
yeah,
mind.
I think that's me because when I did the test, it said I was 56% introvert. So it's like not fully introvert. So it's not like I'm a massive introvert.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
feel
That.
like that. Yeah. So I think that kind of leans into the ambivert you just said.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe we're quite similar. So
Yeah.
my next letter is an S, like you.
Yes.
My third letter is a T like you.
Yeah.
Very quite objective, facts and
Mm-hmm.
figures. What
Yeah.
makes the most logical sense here?
100. Yep. 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 Yep.
And then my fourth letter is the same as you, a J.
Is it?
Yes, so I like to be ABC on it. I like a plan, I like
Yeah.
structure, I
Yeah.
like to bring things together. So
Yeah.
just like how you were the logistician, if that's how you say it.
Yeah. Logistician,
Yeah,
I think.
logistician. My
Yeah.
personality type is called the executive,
Ooh, fancy.
which sounds quite serious, but I'll just read you
Yeah.
some of my strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
So quite strong-willed, I would agree.
Okay. Okay.
Quite dedicated to things. I like to see things through.
Mm-hmm.
Direct and honest,
Yeah.
which I think is why I find it so refreshing to work with someone like you. I
Mm.
feel like we can just be direct with each other. It's not rude, it's just very clear and
I agree.
straightforward.
I
I find
agree.
that
Just.
very refreshing. In the past, I've worked with a whole range of people who
Mm-hmm.
don't have that direct and honest trait, and it's almost a little bit
Mm-hmm.
overwhelming for them. And I find it incredibly confusing and draining trying to navigate what they're actually
Yeah.
trying to say. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it when someone just says, "Oh, Rebecca, actually, da da da." I think, "Oh, that's wonderful." Doesn't matter if
Yeah.
we haven't gone with my idea. I'm just so
Mm-hmm.
happy they were bold enough to speak to me in a direct way, and now we
Yeah.
know where we stand, so we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
I agree.
aim of each day is to do our job well and get home and watch Netflix.
Oh.
It says, I enjoy creating order.
Mm-hmm.
It says, chaos makes things unpredictable, and
Yeah.
unpredictable things can't be trusted when they're needed
Mm-hmm.
most. With
Mm-hmm.
this in mind, executives strive to create order and
Mm-hmm.
security in their environments by establishing rules, structures, and clear roles.
I like that.
I would say that is true. And it also says,
Yeah.
I'm good at organising. And I think from my
You are.
previous job, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
previous job when I was an operations manager, you have to be organised. You have to
Yeah.
know going what's happening first, what's happening second, all the way to what's happening, 15th in the queue.
Yeah.
In terms of weaknesses, it does say inflexible and stubborn, and I personally don't agree.
I disagree with that as well. For me personally and for yourself as well, I disagree with
Yeah.
that.
And I think that might be because when I was in 9 to 5 work, I spent quite
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time having to work in teams. And I must have realised quite early on, somewhere along the line, actually, it can't be my way or the highway. I have to
Mm-hmm.
bend and flex in order to get
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, being
uncomfortable.
inflexible is not a good trait. You have to
Yeah,
be. I would say like I'm the type to adapt to my environment, so I feel like that makes me more like flexible in
yeah,
situations.
yeah. I love that. And it also says difficult has a difficult time relaxing.
You can
Yeah.
relate.
Yeah, I think I can actually, because
Yeah.
now I'm an entrepreneur, I
Mm.
have the days to spend how I want. We also employ an
Mhm.
agency to help us do that on the ground maintenance as well. So I'm not having to be at the Airbnbs full time myself, but my
Mhm.
day gets filled with other house admin, life
Yeah.
admin. I'm managing the
Mm.
Airbnb that we have in our house. And sometimes I just think, oh gosh, I haven't actually sat down today, or oh, I only took 4 minutes for
Yeah.
lunch because I don't know, I just
Yeah.
always am busy just doing.
Yeah.
And
I
usually,
feel like what I appreciate about yourself is that on a weekend, you know that is you time. You can be as busy as you want throughout the week, but I like the fact that you carve the weekend for just you, yourself, your family. So I
yeah,
like that.
yeah, I try to actually, because if I don't switch off eventually, I burn out
Mm.
and then things come crashing down. So I try and avoid that. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so how do you feel about that little overview of yourself?
I feel like it makes sense. The
Yes.
personality type that I came out with, it made sense. After reading it, I was like, that is so me. Like when I read the professions that a logistician should be, it said
Yeah.
accountant. I was like, well, that makes sense. Why I'm an accountant.
Yeah,
But
exactly. And these can be quite accurate. I'm just trying to look to see what it thinks I should be as well.
But what I did find interesting was because I wanted to know what a personality type for an entrepreneur is.
Go on.
Um, I've forgotten what it was, but I knew it was E. So they were an extrovert.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I think the last letter was P as
Oh,
well. I was like,
interesting.
but then I thought entrepreneur is such a broad spectrum
Yeah,
that you can have different types of entrepreneurs. Like, oh, I don't really fall into two of those categories of what an entrepreneur should be. But I was just like, then entrepreneur is so broad that I can be an entrepreneur, even though more on the introverted side, but I'm strong-minded, strong-willed, determined. So I could be an entrepreneur too, even though my letters don't match up to what they say it should do.
100%. Like, and at the end of the day, you're you.
Hmm.
And so who cares, like, if you don't match up fully to all of these traits? Only take this with a pinch of salt. And if you find it
Yeah.
helpful and you find it accurate, or you're in a group setting and you can't understand why
Mm.
people are rubbing up against each other in the wrong way,
Hmm.
then it might be worth doing. So can I
Yeah.
throw in another one for free?
Sure.
So this one I know less about, but I found it quite useful. And so for those
Mm.
of you that are still in the workplace or are starting your own business and you're going to be employing people, this one might be for you to keep in your back pocket. It's called Working Genius. And
Oh, okay.
this is a paid one. I think it's like £25 per person. You get a
Mm.
license and it's incredibly in depth. And at my previous workplace, I don't think we used it to its fullness to really get the
Mm.
benefit, but it was a bit of an eye opener at the beginning of us all working together because we were a brand new team.
I see. Okay.
We'd all been headhunted and all been employed within a few months of each other, and it was our
Hmm.
job to start up basically this charity from scratch essentially. So it's called Working Geniuses, and the acronym for it is WIDGET.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to get it up now.
Mm.
I'll edit this bit
Widget.
out. Okay,
Widget.
so the W in widget stands for wonder. So are you someone that has the natural gift of pondering and thinking about big opportunities and the greater potential of any sort of situation or
Mm.
opportunity, basically? Are you someone that goes, we could do this, we could do that, we could do
Hmm.
this?
Hmm.
I am not that kind of person. Oh, it's
Okay.
important to know, out of
Mm.
these 6 letters, you have your two most prevalent,
Okay.
which are called your working geniuses. That is when you are in your prime. That is your
Okay.
best skill set that you bring to
Yeah.
a team. You have the two
Okay.
in the middle, which are like your working sort of average, okay traits. And then
Okay.
you have your working struggles, which are the two
Hmm.
last ones,
Oh,
right
okay.
at the bottom. So that's the W of the widget acronym. Wonder. The I is, have you got the genius of invention? Are you good at coming up with creative, original, novel ideas and solutions? So, for example, rather than just think with the genius of invention, okay, it's Christmas, let's hand out some Christmas posters to people, Christmas flyers. You
Hmm.
might say, no, let's do a Christmas treasure hunt around the local area for
Yeah.
the local kids and raise some money and come up with
Hmm.
a brilliant creative idea. I personally can see quite a lot of similarities between wonder and
And
invention
yeah.
there.
Yeah. I
The,
see that as well.
The third letter is the genius of discernment. So it's the natural gift of intuitively and instinctively evaluating ideas and decisions. And as soon as I read that, I thought, I think I have that. So as an ops manager, when I was employed, lots of people would come up to me throughout the week and say, Rebecca, I want to put this event on and I want it to be on this day. What do you think? And almost within seconds, that information would just download into my mind. My mind would do that matrix thing with the black background and the green text, like, and I'll just sift through it and I'd say, do you know what? I don't think you should do it on that date because of this, this, and this. I don't think that kind of event will work for that group. Why don't you do it for this group? Or actually, I don't think we've got the budget for that. I was able to discern very quickly what would work and what aspect needed tweaking. So it was my responsibility then with that genius. I say genius, not to big myself up, but that's the language of this test. Not to come across as a party pooper. Because sometimes you can discern things a little bit too well. All your wanderers and your inventors can feel a bit crushed if you go, no, not going to work. No. You have to, when you're part of a team, be that little bit willing to give things a go. And my way around that is to maybe put some parameters in. So you can wonder as much as you want. You can come up with the biggest creative idea you like because you're a creative person. I need to respect you as a fellow colleague, or maybe one day if I employ someone. However, the parameter for this event or this activity is £400 or is £2,000. And then that would help me as an executive and a logical thinker who likes order and structure and parameters to know, basically, for both of our itches to get scratched.
Got it. You're still leaving that room for those wanderers and creatives, the opportunity to still put their ideas in, but within certain parameters.
Absolutely, because I have a deep down understanding that if everyone was like me, the world wouldn't be as colourful. And so I want to encourage that diversity in the way we think. But as a professional, because I'm fairly far into my career now, I'm sort of 10 years in, I've worked with loads of different people, a range of different contexts. I think personality types and tests help you harness the greatness of the team. And that's why I'm an advocate for them. Although this is all about making the jump into entrepreneurship, again, it's going to really help you. Are you someone that likes to sit in a coffee shop and just wonder, but you can't actually make things a reality?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then you know which kind of person you should be trying to bring on board, which are the people we'll get onto now.
Yeah.
So the next letter in the widget acronym, so we've done wonder, we've done invention, we've done discernment. The G in widget is galvanizing.
Oh.
And now I wasn't really familiar with that word.
I've heard it, but I don't really know what it means.
Yeah, exactly. So in this context, it means the natural gift of rallying, inspiring, and organising others to take action.
Oh, okay. I think I'm a bit like that.
Do you know what? You've galvanised me to come along and join this podcast. I personally think you're a bit of a galvanizer, my friend.
I think I am.
Have you done that in the workplace then? Have you gathered people together for a particular reason?
You know what? I'm the type of person, like, at work, I'm the one that likes to arrange, like, social events.
Okay.
So I like to bring people together. I like to get to know people outside of work. So I guess that's galvanizing, I guess.
Yeah, gathering people together, or if there's a specific task you need people to do, it's saying, come on, troops, let's get this done.
I think I'm definitely like that. I like to bring people together, and if we share a common goal, why not get together and work together towards it, really?
Absolutely. Whereas other people might think, oh no, I'll just wait for someone to mention it, or I'll wait for someone to take the lead, kind of thing.
Oh, no. I like to step into that role.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'll just do it myself. I think it's a real gifting if you can take other people along with you. And I've seen a lady I used to work with do this beautifully. She just had this sort of very charismatic warm way of getting people along, whether it was to be in a pop-up choir at Christmas or whether it was to build a staff team to go on this mission to start this charity. She just kind of had this infectious way of saying, let's go on this journey together. It was really appealing, actually. So when you see it in action, yeah, it's a thing to behold, really. It can be fantastic. I think Athena and Sophie are a little bit like that too.
I think so. And I guess why they created a Star Collective, like bringing
Yeah,
people together. So that would make sense that they're galvanizing.
100%. And Athena and Sophie are our property mentors that have been incredibly supportive of us making the jump
Yes.
and growing our property knowledge. So check them out on social media. Athena Dobson and Sophie Invests. Okay, so
Yes.
coming into land now, the last two letters of the widget acronym, the E and the T. So the E stands for the genius of enablement.
Oh, okay.
So that is the natural gift of providing encouragement and assistance for an idea or project.
Oh.
Now, this is one that I actually have. So discernment and enablement were my two top ones.
Okay.
Basically, I love it when someone comes up to me and says, I'm trying to achieve this. Have you got any ideas? I love to go, oh yeah, I've watched a video on that.
Yeah.
Or I've tried this product and it really works. Or have you thought about blah, blah, blah? It comes very naturally to me to want to help
Yeah.
other people have a
Yeah.
leg up and help their idea to thrive. What about
Mm-hmm.
you? I think you might have that.
I definitely have that for sure. I just can't help myself. I love to help people. If it's whatever situation, I can't help myself but to help. It's just it's just in me just to help. I just can't help it.
You gave me a really helpful video actually recently about business rates on my essay, didn't you?
I did, yes. If I see something that's of value to someone that could help someone, then I'm more than happy to talk about it, share it. So yeah, helping people, I think it's definitely in my nature, which I feel like is a good trait to have in business, because it's sort of like paying it forward a little bit. Like you help one person and they get to help another person. So
Yeah.
I mean that's what makes the world go around, just helping people.
Love that. That's so nice.
Mm.
And the final letter of this personality testing tool is the genius of tenacity. So it's the
Oh,
T widget.
okay.
And it's the natural gift of pushing projects or tasks to completion to achieve results.
That's an
So
interesting one.
you might have lots of people who are good at wondering, but
Yeah.
someone with tenacity needs to come in and say, hey guys, that's a great idea, great invention, really good. We think it's going to work, blah, blah, blah. But now we actually need to do it. So who is going to go out and
Mm.
buy the gas canisters for 10,000 helium balloons?
Yeah.
All right. Have they been brought? Someone tenacious to drive the
Yeah.
project over the line, because
Yeah.
there could be a tendency for people who've got big ideas, creative ways of thinking, to not necessarily, not always, but
Yeah.
not necessarily get things finished. Maybe they've started a different project by the time you've
Mm-hmm.
even grown and sort of developed the previous
Yeah.
project.
They're always in that creative mode rather than pushing toward
Yeah.
to finishing a project.
Yeah, and there's so much space for that, and there's so much
Mm.
room for that way of thinking. But what
Yeah.
we're trying to emphasize here, and tell me if you agree, is
Mm.
you need a mixed skill set in a
100%.
team to flourish. Obviously, it's sector
Mm-hmm.
dependent, because
Yeah.
different sectors will need a different level of skills and different range.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So in my last team, my husband and I, Dave, we actually worked together.
Oh, okay.
We both work for the same place on the same staff team.
No way.
Yeah. And we all,
Okay.
10 employees, I don't know, there must be about 10 of us in the room. We
Yeah.
all did this, we took the test, and then we had like a mentor come in who loves personality types almost as much as I do. And he walked us through this, and he got us to read our results, and he plotted the whole staff team on a wall. and he
Okay.
showed us who ranked higher and lower in different things. And it was only me and my husband that ranked the highest. No one else was in this category with us for tenacity.
Ah, okay.
And I was thinking, what does that mean? Dave and I would be in IKEA at 9:30 at night with 3 trolleys full up. You couldn't even see our faces because they would be so high up buying equipment for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
charity. Loads in the car at 10 o'clock at night. We
yeah.
were determined to get this project over the line. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really proud of us actually, because we've pulled off some fantastic events together while we worked at that charity. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why we work very well managing serviced accommodation,
I
because
agree.
during that setup period, Kafilat, for anyone thinking
Oh,
of into rent to serviced accommodation, do you know what? I'm going to
yeah.
phone you next time and ask you to come and help me. I'm going to pay you in pizza. Personally, I found it backbreaking.
It's straight. I saw what you went through, and it was like it was intense. A few
I found it
weeks.
backbreaking. It took us quite a long time for various reasons. It took us 20
Yeah,
days. I know some people say get it done within a week. We're new to this,
yeah,
like a bit of grace and space.
yeah.
But yeah, it was backbreaking. But we were tenacious and we were driven.
Mm,
And so it didn't matter if it was 10 o'clock at night. We would sleep there. We'd wake up.
yeah,
We'd do painting,
yeah.
decorating, put furniture up. Yeah,
You did it
carry
all.
furniture in the rain. So
Yeah.
yeah, basically what I'm trying to get at is it's good to have some tenacious people on the team.
100%. And I feel like it's very important to understand your personality as well. So
Yeah.
that way you can see what you lack in and what you need to surround yourself with, whether it's in business, in friendships, in relationships. I feel like it's important to have a good understanding about yourself. So if it wasn't for you like mentioning like doing the MBTI, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just continued to watch my K-pop, my K-dramas, and just hear other people talk about it. But I'm glad that I did it because it now makes so much sense why I am the way I am and certain aspects of myself and what I could potentially work on and who I need to surround myself with as well. So it's been very helpful. So I thank you for that because you pushed me to do that.
Mission accomplished. That's all I want. To know ourselves better and to work together better.
100%. But I found it interesting. Our personalities are quite similar, though. They're
Yeah.
basically the same.
Yeah. Very interesting, eh?
Yeah. I think on my last letter, because you know you get the 4 letters, then a hyphen, then a
Yeah.
letter.
Yes.
Mine was an A, so I
So
think that's assertive.
yes. And do you know what? To my shame, I've never actually, even though I love personality types, I've never
Yeah.
done that deeper bit of research. So it was assertive versus
Oh,
turbulent, I think they are.
yeah. Turbulent. Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Okay, so
I'm
just
assertive.
so it says assertive individuals are self-assured, even-tempered, and are resistant to stress.
That is so me. I don't get stressed out very easily.
Oh, do you know what? I can't see you like running around your room looking for a sock. I just
No,
can't see
no,
that.
that is not me. That is not me. I'm very calm, level-headed. So yeah, things like that don't stress me out at
I
all.
love that. And then turbulence. Turbulent individuals are success driven, perfectionistic and eager to improve. They are always
Oh,
trying to counterbalance their self-doubts by achieving more. Just as they push themselves to become better, they're likely to push their projects or efforts in the same direction.
interesting. What would you say you fall into more?
Uh,
Quite a difficult one because it's quite very black and white.
I think I'm probably a bit more turbulent.
Mm.
Yeah, probably a little bit more turbulent, which sounds like I'm crazy and I'm a
Yeah,
storm.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's not turbulent in the everyday sense. It's
yeah.
just I yeah, probably quite driven, little bit perfectionistic, which I don't like saying because to me perfectionism just seems so obvious that it's not achievable. But
Mm.
yeah, maybe I need to do a
There's,
bit more research.
I feel like there's nothing wrong in wanting the best. So if that's perfectionism, that's perfectionism. There's nothing wrong in like wanting to achieve the maximum.
I think it's just when it impacts you negatively,
I
and you
guess.
can't get past.
I
You
guess so.
you have to get that one little grain of whatever sorted before
Mm,
you move to the next stage of
yeah.
your life, and it's impacting your relationships or your time,
Yeah. Yeah.
money.
I guess so.
Yeah, so I think it's just something to keep an eye on, isn't it? But I've
Yeah.
absolutely loved this episode, and
I've loved it as well.
it's so nice to just get my excitement and enthusiasm out of a personality types with someone. So
Hmm.
thank you for
Hmm.
listening, and thank you to everyone at home or driving in the car or washing their hair whilst listening. I appreciate it, and I hope it's been really helpful as well.
I hope it has inspired people to have look within and see what your personality types are, and to understand yourself more as we all try and go into entrepreneurship or whatever it is you want to do. I think it's important to know yourself.
Yeah, love that. I think that brings us to an end.
I think it does. I think it's been a fantastic episode. Really
Yeah,
good. I've really enjoyed it.
I'm looking forward to chatting to you again very soon with
Very,
various
very soon.
property news and updates and exciting things.
Yes, 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 yes. All that to come, all that to come. How
Well,
exciting.
we'll see you very soon, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone.
See you soon.
Bye.